Yours truly, yes, Namibia's only television breakfast show has turned 1 year older. Your favorite show, that is Good Morning Namibia, has turned 19 today on Spring Day. Here's a taste of the day of Good Morning back in 2003.
A warm welcome to you all viewers to a brand new program. Good morning, Namibia. I'm Moses Kanjo there.
And I'm Franlin Thomas, and not only welcome you to this morning show, but to a fresh first day of a new season. It is the 1st of September, Spring Day.
And as of this beautiful day, the Namibia Broadcasting Corporation has a new image. This includes newly locally produced programs, both on radio and television. Obviously, one of the new programs is this Good Morning Namibia show that viewers will have to tune into from 6 to 7 o'clock, Mondays to Friday.
And also new is the different programming schedule, which has some programs being broadcast at different times. And we'll find out more about that when the new image is officially launched later this morning. But specifically about this Good Morning Namibia show, viewers will have the latest on all fronts, be it local news, sports and the weather. It is also in this morning show you will monitor the vibrant growth of our economy presented by experienced and independent economists.
But before we give you more details on to why the national broadcaster decided to embark on this exciting project, have just a bit of what is in store for you.
There's no better inspiration. Be what you want to be. Dream all the dreams that move your soul. But then be seen. Yeah. Shine on, comrade, shine. Never be alone. Shine on by your side. Always be your guide. NBC. Beloved, land of beauty, land of liberty. Oh, the stars are reachable. Someone who's family that shadows by your side.
Oh man, this takes me way, way back to when I was growing up. Well, to help us recall the good times on this platform, I'm now joined by one of our presenters who started the show, that is of course the seasoned and current and longest-serving TV news anchor, journalist and the current station manager for National FM. Good morning, Fran.
Good morning, Tony. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We're pleased to have you too. So Monday, the 1st of September 2003, exactly 6 a.m., marked down a new era for the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation. And for you and late Moses Kanjo there, the founding presenters for Good Morning Namibia. What was it like back then?
Sure, I don't even know, excuse me, where to begin. It certainly was terrible just looking at the clip you just showed. I was laughing because that clip brings back so many good memories. We had absolutely no idea, as you can clearly see in the clip, in which camera to look at. So it was terrible. But it was, very inexperienced, both Moses and me. Oh, how I miss him today. I'm actually, really sad that he's not here to witness, what we brought to life 19 years ago. But as much as we were so experienced, I think it is such a good feeling knowing that, we started with something very, very good. Waking up so early in the morning, I think we were most probably, on the set at NBC television like 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, because it it felt like we didn't know what we were doing, but we were very hell-bent on making sure that we need to bring a program of this nature to life for the NBC, because the rest of the world had a program like that, but we didn't have it. And it really took a lot of teamwork and effort and lots and lots of ugly sets to be where we are today.
Fran, I think you're being a bit too critical. I mean, for a newborn, you were winging it for me.
Oh my gosh, I can't, when I look at those visuals, I can't believe that's me.
It's
Gosh.
19 years ago. I mean, look at yourself in 2003. And now, you didn't age at all, did you?
Oh, well, I'm looking at just the visuals right now, and that particular, I listened to the jingle.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the hair. I think that's the longest ever I've grown my hair. Oh my, how things have changed. I'm really touched by this. Wow. Good genes. Let's blame it on good genes.
Oh,
That I haven't really aged much. Thank
No.
you so much for that.
Definitely good genes, definitely good genes. I mean, 19 years ago and now, you know. So tell us a bit about waking up. You said you were here on the set around 1 a.m. So at what time did you wake up? How did you prepare? What time did you go to bed? Did you sleep at all?
I have to tell you, we didn't sleep much at all that whole week because we didn't really, know 100% how to pull off a breakfast show at the time. But I really have to give kudos to the management at the time, and one of the people that really played a big role was Unomengi Kawapirirwa. She was really an inspiration. And Cousin Bire, I think, at the time was really working behind the scenes. And Moses Kanjode himself. We were an absolutely great team, and I remember that a lot of people didn't sleep. We didn't sleep at all because we were so excited to have a show of this nature. And I really do think a lot of people didn't sleep the whole night through because we really wanted to pull off the greatest show ever. I think I arrived around 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning because I was so nervous, but I was so excited as well. So it really just brings back absolutely great memories. I'm so humbled and so grateful, and I so absolutely miss my friend Moses Kanjode. I hope he's looking down. We did something absolutely awesome.
I can imagine. Well, for me today, it marks the first week as a presenter for Good Morning Namibia.
Wow. And I'm so happy for you, Tony. You go, girl.
Thank you. And I must attest to it. I woke up before my alarm 2 times, because I was so excited. So I can totally relate to what you were saying.
Yeah,
So,
that's when you're very passionate about what you do.
Indeed. And I believe that your co-presenters and the whole production crew is watching and looking down the line to see how far they have come as well.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
So 2003 was here, and now we're in 2022. How has the broadcast spectrum changed from where it came from? How has the broadcasting spectrum changed from when it comes to producing a TV breakfast show?
Very good question. I don't know how long ago I actually quit Good Morning Namibia, so it's a difficult question.
Wait
to
a minute,
answer.
Fran. So you don't watch Good Morning Namibia?
No. Of course I do when I have time. But listen,
Okay.
I'm much older now, so it's very difficult to wake up in the morning. Although I wake up early in the morning to get my kids ready for school, but you don't really have a lot of time and every time to switch on the TV to watch TV because it's so crazy, it's so hectic in the morning. But I do know, I have an idea. The one thing, how has the broadcasting spectrum changed? I can just make reference to, the first thing that's very obvious. Good Morning Namibia has had so many sets. I mean, look at that absolutely terrible set that we had. It's like a funeral set. Even if I have to say it myself, I've learned to become extremely critical over the years. But if I look at that set and I look at how many sets we have changed over the years, one of the things that has changed for a breakfast show is how we literally back in the day had to build sets. And today, the difference is we can have virtual sets, right? So you do not necessarily have to sit in a kitchen, for example, to present Good Morning Namibia, but you can sit behind a green screen, right? And it will look totally different on the telly. So that's one of the significant things that have changed over the years. And obviously, social media. I think back in the day, the power of social media has not evolved as it has today. So it's absolutely so great to see that transformation. You know, back in the day, we used to have telephonic interviews. Today, you can have Zoom interviews. You can have flyaway kids in different towns of this country and do stand-uppers and interviews with another person, and you could actually see them on screen. So the dynamics in terms of, breakfast shows, especially in Namibia, has completely changed, and I'm so proud of my colleagues at the NBC, especially Television Current Affairs. Give it up to Peter Denk, and everybody else that I've worked with over the years. How they have completely changed the dynamics of Good Morning Namibia today.
And in terms of coverage, how do you compare it to now? What did you cover then more, or what do we cover now more? What can you comment on that?
Well, we used to do back in the day. I was seeing the clip, and I'm such a I don't know how to call it. I don't want to brag, but it's like, my television screen is on silent because I know it's not a good thing to have your screen, your television on the air loud. In terms of coverage, we just did a lot of interviews. Basically, you still have that same kind of format on Good Morning Namibia, but now you have interesting, information that you share, clips that you have produced, today in history, stuff like that. Back in the day, we did not concentrate so much on that. So in terms of coverage, I think the focus is still the same, which I'm happy about. But I think it has evolved so much more in terms of live coverage. I mean, you guys have Ndishishi and Denver broadcasting live from the Ongodiva Annual Trade Fair, where I am at currently, and that's one of the greatest, transformations of the breakfast show in terms of coverage, that it has become possible to actually not only be Windhoek-based, but to be anywhere in the world, if I may say that, and do those kind of crossovers. So coverage-wise, things have really changed, and I think the NBC has made so much progress in how we have evolved as a broadcaster to be able to do what you guys are doing today.
Very well. So kudos to that growth, team. From presenter to station manager for National FM. Talk to us about your journey.
Oh my gosh. Where do I even start, I have to say though, I didn't start out as a presenter. I started out as a reporter. And that was in the south, in my hometown of Keetmanshoop. So I started as a reporter, and then I think 2 years thereafter, I came to Windhoek and I worked as a producer. So I wasn't on television, from the get-go. Yes, I used to do television stories, and I've learned the art of doing research, the art of doing interviews on radio. And radio really provided me that platform to mold my art. So producer, and then, did panel discussion on radio before I went on television. And I was doing radio mostly full-time. Then I did television part-time. And that's the funny thing, I was posting recently on my social media pages, and it was like, the funny thing is people think that the only thing I've ever done is being a radio or a television host. But, I've been a reporter, I've been a producer, and then I moved up the ranks, and I was in several managerial positions. But I still love presentation so much. And now today, and I have to mention, goeiemorgen alle hardkloppers, I took one hell of a plunge when I moved from the newsroom to the Afrikaanse radiodienst van the NBC. That is how it was known back in the day, until I was part of that transformation to rebrand and call it Hardklop FM, and even changing the slogan of the station, Leef in Afrikaans. So those were some of my major personal achievements for myself. And now today I'm at National FM as a station manager, and we're still busy transforming the station. And I'm quite looking forward to how far we can get, to make the station just as successful. So it's been an interesting, difficult road, because, back in the day in the newsroom, you had to fight your way up. You know what I'm saying? It's especially for a woman journalist. It was difficult. It wasn't easy. You did not necessarily get the same opportunities that your male counterparts got. So as a result, it became extremely, extremely opinionated. But I made sure before I became that I learned everything, even if it was, what do they call it, alle donkiewerk gedoen. I did that. And today when I look back at everything that I went through, I'm very proud and I'm very happy. And I always, especially here at the Angudiva and World Trade Fair, I live in Oshakati, and I go up and down to Angudiva, and I meet so many people. You wouldn't believe me. Last night, a lot of times I was in tears, because you do not realize the impact that you make in people's lives when you, Tony, sit in the seat that you are sitting at. It is an absolute privilege to sit in that seat, and that is why it is so important to take it seriously, because you do not know the impact that you have on people's lives.
Absolutely.
And the reception that I've received, the absolute love and support I've received in the Oshana region, and I'm getting emotional, is absolutely amazing. And you must always just look at it as, as a blessing and as a privilege. And when I look back at my career and the fact that, 1st of September 19 years ago, Good Morning Namibia was one of my babies. Mm-hmm. I'm so humbled. I'm so grateful. I'm just, shout out to everyone. Good morning, guys. I miss you. Thank you so much. I don't want to cry.
Franlin. And you are such an all-rounder, and it's been a journey for you indeed. So now, today that we're 19 years old, what is the message that you would like to send out to the current crew, the whole crew?
Well, I shared a little bit of that, remark I just made. To the presenters, really, the seat that you're occupying right now, Tony, we spoke about, how this is something that you've always wanted to do. I'm so happy that your dream came true, because me coming from Keetmanshoop, the dusty streets of Keetmanshoop, I also had very similar dreams on being on television. So I'm so proud of you, that you are there on screen today, and I'm talking to you. Just as presenters, it's not about the fame. You have to remember the role that you play in educating, informing, and entertaining the Namibian nation. And you have to take responsibility for whatever you say. So when you get into that studio, you have to take everything you say seriously, because it's about a public service that we are offering to the Namibian nation. And I just want you guys or new presenters to realize that. I think sometimes we get too caught up in social media to understand you just want to be seen. For me, back in the day, we did not have that opportunity to be on social media, and I'm so grateful for that. I didn't know until Google back in the day as much as I do now. I'm glad that as a child I grew up watching, reading, and not necessarily depending on YouTube. And just to the crew, because you know what? The crew behind the scenes, they are ultimately what makes it happen.
Absolutely.
And I'm the cameraman, the sound guys, the director. I know you guys listening to me, they have to do the same. You have to realize that each of you play a unique role on set to do what you do every morning, because it's not easy, but you have to remember you are providing a public service to this country, and you have to give it your all, because you have no idea how much you are influencing kids from different kinds of backgrounds whose circumstances might not be ideal. So just take the responsibility, and that privilege that you have on that set, please take it seriously and make an impact.
Yes, thank you so much, Franlin. Thank you so much, Franlin, for sharing your heart as we look back at the 19 years that Good Morning Namibia has come. So now, that was Franlin Thomas, the founding presenter for Good Morning Namibia, currently the manager of National Radio FM, sharing on the 19 years of Good Morning Namibia breakfast show.